Well, hello there. Yes, it's me, the one that loves to be here, that finds joy in just chatting with you. And we are here again, and we are happy to be here. So we'll continue that talk on daily bread, kind of part two. You know, when people think of that in the circles of that walk with Christ, they sometimes have a very limited view of that, but it's so big. I mean, daily bread. That pretty well says it right there. So if you were to go to a situation and there you are, you know, there you got daily bread, right? That would mean it would be everything you required for that day. Kind of amazingly interesting, isn't it? So that is just one aspect of it, right? Thinking of it as nourishment, well, that's what it does. We eat that bread, then it feeds us, and everything we require in that day is given to us. Interesting thought. Let's leave that there. If you want to get a hold of me, it's at eric@starthealing.me, 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 and you reach out to me. I will send you a link. You make an appointment. We talk. Maybe I'm part of your healing puzzle. Let's find out. But of course, it is without charge. Moving into this story. Now, it's getting interesting, isn't it? But we're off, taxiing down the runway and on our way to the great unknown, actually, because Joseph's never been there. Uh, it's another place. But things things are going to happen, right? How you would think. And but everything is happening as God wishes it to. That's how he's thinking. That's how he believes. So he's sitting beside this man and doesn't even know where he's flying to, but he knows that he'll be flying back in a D9 and making it impossible landing on that small field, but it can be done. This guy believes he can do it. So, and he'll make a bigger field. It was a little wider than necessary. He's thinking to himself, we can do this. So he arrives, flight, eh, nothing much happens. A little light conversation, more like mostly about flying. And the lady's waiting, yeah, getting told that be a little bit longer because there's something coming in from, well, there it is. Wow, that chief moved fast. And plane pulls in, taxis, turns around. It's a bigger beaver, double thing, even bigger than the one he has. On its way to a D9, but not quite. That's what he calls it. D9. It's had many names. Goes over to the taxi and sat and Joseph goes over to the lady and goes, "We're gonna be here a wee bit. That's mine. Gotta go in the D9. Can you land on that? Oh yeah, it shouldn't be a problem. Everyone's believing God's gonna get us through. Yeah. So we'll get that loaded. Next 35 minutes, they get it loaded. And Joseph goes and sits in the co-pilot seat and starts flight check. And while that's happening, the guy that had flown in, well, now he's flying out in a bigger plane. Radios the banker that he's about to take off. When Joseph looks at this runway, it's not much bigger. It's going to work. And boy, does it need some work. Twin engine. Yeah, well, mostly. That one engine needs a bit of work, quite a bit. He doesn't even have an engine stand or anything. He'll have to figure out all that stuff. Those things are huge and not fun to work on, but he'll get it done. Who'd have thunk that he would be floating in the water and 3 weeks later he'd be sitting on a D9? That brings back memories. Thought to himself, well, they idle it up, taxi, take off. Not bad. That big old object in the back is not causing it much trouble, but the number two engine is really rough. Might have to feather it out or stop it. And the guy is doing, what do you think? Probably feathering will work. Feathers the engine a bit and it chokes spots and yeah. Okay, it seems all right. They fly and they chat, and she said she had a good visit. It was a good sermon. I hear your sermon was good. Okay, well, that VHF radio working hard. And some CVs. And not always getting in, but they sometimes do. Before they knew it, they were back. They'd made a wider run, but the lights were there. You could see the runway. And that was the moment that, was going to be a mundane landing until pilot goes, I don't know what's wrong, man, but I'm having trouble with it. She's not responding. Joseph takes the other controls and well, they're responding. You want to switch seats? Uh, let's just get her on the ground. I haven't landed something like this in a while, sir. And this is a bit of a tricky landing. You'll be fine. God said you can do it. All right. Sees the lights, he sees the little things that he painted with the hoe, knows he has to touch that thing right on the edge of this to run it to the edge of it. That's what's going to happen. Glad the vehicles are out far enough that they're not going to get clipped by the big wings. And he's taking it in, thanking God that he can get there. Rudder, rudder, little left, little left. Interesting tailwind. Can work with that. And ask God to drop it where it needs to be, and lo and behold, it hits just as the runway begins. Taxis down, and finally able to reverse thrust. And the second engine just about sputtered and died when he did that, but he kept it going somehow, mostly with God. And just before they were rolling off of it, which wouldn't have been terrible, he had a gravel spillway in case you missed the runway. And she coughs, chokes, and both engines give. Okay. While we're here, lady goes, well, we got here just in time before everything died. He goes, I guess I'm spending some time with the banker again. Well, seems to be that way. They get out and the chief is there and he said, he said, you can't throw that in your Jeep, but you can throw it in the back of my truck. I was going to take 10 of these young lads right here. Two of them were the washer ladies and the others were from wherever. They were there. They heaved it in and he hadn't been idle. Uh, they moved it over to the area that they had decided that this was going to become an airfield. Everybody had talked about it. And the lady was open for it, so that had all been talked out while they were flying. So they laid down a pad, not cement. It wouldn't be dried yet. No, just a pad. They knew how to do it. Put the garage over there, and then the boys started putting it together. Well, that'll be your garage, and you're gonna need engine lifts, aren't you? Yeah, things that go under those big engines and hold them, so I can take them off and pull them apart. I know somebody that has some. I'll get him to drop them off. You can do that now. We just landed it, Dina. I wouldn't. I need this to get a little bigger or make another one. I think the idea of the other one is a good idea. And so I was watching the boys put it up. And I seem to be pretty talented in putting it all together, so that's working fine. And she looks and she goes, "Kitchen clean? Yeah, made some stuff, and there's still stuff there, like part of a rhubarb peach crumble and a few other things." Wow, I'm a little hungry, so I'm gonna go over there and have a look, and I'll put something together for everybody. Okay, let them know. Joseph turns back and goes, "Well, that'll be a nice garage, and if I can get the lifts, then that'll be good, and I can get this thing back up and running and working well, I think." Wouldn't mind some of those people's helps that were helping before. Oh, don't worry, they'll be around. Let's leave it there. We come before you, Father, and we ask for a blessing for these people, a blessing of joy and peace, unconditional love, overflowing, wonderful nature of God, just in the essence of what God is. Abundance, of course, and whatever that brush wishes to paint for you in God's hands. According to Father's will, according to your will, it can be. So we come before you, Father, Spirit, Son, and we are so eternally grateful that you are with us and you meet us at every point and every juncture. We ask you now to push back the dark and give these people a connection with you. As they reach out, I know that you will reach back. it's the first time or the 100th time you can take them deeper. And that's what we ask for. We ask that you continue to grow and learn us as we live each day with your courage and strength and grace and mercy. And so we say thankful, grateful, gratitude, thankful, grateful, gratitude, thankful, grateful, gratitude, standing in awe and honor, respect, allowing all glory to flow, the Father, Spirit, Son. This is, and so this is. Hmm. May you be blessed. And when you rest, rest well. When you wake, wake well. And know that your path is well lit by God. Be blessed.